long time ago, when there were blockbusters, my parents took me and my sister to pick out something for us to each watch. And my sister went straight for her tried and true, something starring the Olsen twins, which she's probably already seen 10 times. But I decided to walk up and down the aisles as though I were some super edgy movie buff. And my dad, recognizing that I could be there for hours, just grabbed a box, handed it to me, and assured me that it was a classic. But I looked at the cover, wide-eyed, hesitant, only slightly comforted by the PG rating. Brought it up to the counter, paid for it, and we went home. And when we got home, I propped up my folding chair in my room, I pushed the VHS into my TV, I dimmed the lights a little bit and sat down. The movie started. The first scene ended, and I jumped up and ejected the tape. Sufficiently traumatized, I walked out of the room and paced around the house looking for anything to take my mind off of what I just watched. My dad bumped into me in the kitchen. "Oh, how do you like it so far?" "Oh, it's great. It's great. It's terrific. I love it. So I'm probably going to finish it tomorrow, though. It's a lot. It's good. It's good. It's really good." It would be years until I worked up the courage to finally watch Jaws again. And let me tell you, I am so grateful that I did. PG rating. After getting through that first scene again, I was amazed that you never see the shark in that first scene, but you know it's there. And this sets up the movie beautifully for the rest of the film, because anytime you see the water, you know the shark is somewhere close by. And whenever you hear those two notes, dun-dun, you know the shark is coming. So later in the movie, our three main characters, the police chief, an oceanographer, and a shark fisherman, are out at sea at night, relaxing in the cabin of their boat. And they're waiting for the shark to show up again. And these relative strangers begin sharing stories of various scars that they have, that they earned in brawls or arm wrestling matches or other encounters with sea creatures. And as the two of them around the table continue to try to one-up the other, we get a shot of the police chief standing at a bit of a distance, slightly raising up his shirt, clearly looking at his own scar, trying to figure out if he's comfortable enough to share the story of how he got it. And it's at this point in the scene that the tone shifts. We've moved from the external and visible signs to the internal and invisible scars, as the oceanographer jokingly offers that his heart was once broken by a former love. And then the police chief, who's been standing at a distance, not revealing anything himself, he notices that the shark fisherman has a mark on his arm. He hasn't shared about it yet, though. And so he asks, "How'd you get that?" And the shark fisherman reveals that it was a tattoo that he once had, but he got it removed. But now there's a bit of a tension that's rising, because the scar remains, even though he tried to rid himself of the pain that caused it. He can't hide it anymore, though. So he shares the story. And over the next 4 minutes, the character delivers a harrowing monologue about his time on the USS Indianapolis, a real World War II naval ship sent on a secret mission to deliver parts of the atomic bomb. The ship sank when it was hit by Japanese torpedoes, killing about 300 men on impact. Out at sea, floating between life and death, dehydration and shark attacks, the remaining 900 men waited for rescue that wasn't coming. 316 men survived. This scene is a small but incredible look into the lingering effects of trauma. How it affects our interactions with others, and how deep down there's a desire inside of all of us for our pain to be witnessed, to cry out and be heard, Hineni, here I am. To be human is to live in the anticipation of pain and suffering. Our lives are brief, our end is unpredictable, and all that we love will ultimately lose. Suffering and loss are hallmarks of the human experience, and yet they don't make any sense to us. The Greek word for wound is trauma. And while this idea is typically associated with the extreme psychological or physical shock, trauma can result from any experience which overwhelms the coping mechanism of an organism, having lasting adverse effects on an individual's functioning, as well as their mental, physical, social, emotional, and or spiritual well-being. Responses to trauma are embedded in the parts of our brain concerned with survival. As isolating as pain can be, in a counterintuitive way, it is life-affirming. We don't want to feel pain, nor do we want to suffer. Our once irrationally and subconsciously perceived immortality disappears, and we're forced to confront the fragile nature of our finite humanity. We feel because we are. When we try to discuss suffering within a religious context, we often categorize our questions into those of theodicy. Questions concerning the nature of God and why our pain was permitted to exist in the first place. This kind of thinking shifts God to the center of our conversation, marginalizing our subjective human experiences. French philosopher Emmanuel Levinas believed that it was essential for us to disregard theodicy as this outdated philosophical model. For Levinas, our understandings of the universe ultimately don't matter unless we can come to recognize someone when they are in pain or have experienced trauma. The one who is suffering, whom Levinas refers to as the other, is only recognizable when we become fully aware of them, when we react to and engage with them. The other is not God, but another human being. And because of this, Levinas believed that the meaning of something is in its relation to another thing, that our sense of self becomes defined through the encounter with the other. And we must be ready to respond to the other when we encounter them. Just as they cry out to us in their suffering, Hineni, we have to call back, here I am. The Torah portion we're about to read is bookended by trauma. Abraham has just sent away his son, Ishmael, to die in the wilderness. And after this unimaginable burden, God approaches him with a test. And Abraham responds, Hineni, I'm here. And God tells Abraham, Kachna et bincha, et yechidka asher ahavta, et yitzchak v'lech lecha. Take your son, your favorite son, the one whom you love, Isaac, and lech lecha. Go forth. Offer him as a burnt offering. From here until the end of this experience, Torah gives us a sparse and surface-level encounter as we witness the scars forming. Abraham and Isaac leave Sarah behind, and when they arrive at their destination, they leave their servants behind, telling them that they will be back down from the mountain after they worship. And now it's just Abraham and Isaac ascending the mountaintop together. And Isaac begins to question, hey, Dad? Abraham responds again with, Hineni. So I see that we're going to offer some sacrifices. There's the wood. Here's the flint to start the fire. Where's the sheep? God will see to the sheep for the offering, my son. The two don't speak again for the rest of this journey to the top of the mountain. And upon reaching the top, Abraham binds Isaac to the pile of wood. He draws back his knife, about to kill his son, when an angel calls out to him, "Abraham, Abraham!" The text gives us no insight as to what Abraham is going through. But we bear witness to the pain. Abraham is the same man who bargained with God over saving Sodom and Gomorrah if there were at least 10 good people living there. It's the same man who sent off his firstborn to die in the wilderness. It's the same man who was then asked to kill his only other son. It's no wonder that Abraham's response to the angel is, "Hineni, here I am. Please, I'm hurting." The trauma of the Akedah persists. We never learn if Sarah even knows where Abraham and Isaac go off to, and the next time we see her, she dies. Abraham and Isaac don't speak again for the rest of Abraham's life, or at least not reflected in the Torah text. And the two of them are never mentioned as being together. Isaac clings to Rebekah almost immediately upon meeting her, as she is the first person he's able to find comfort in after his mother's death. Whether these stories happen or not, there's truth to the pain that our text captures. Our tradition emphasizes that even from the beginning, trauma is a part of the human condition. Moments like the exile from the Garden of Eden, the first murder, the great flood which wiped out the entire population of the world, the technological disaster of the Tower of Babel. What other traumas are we still trying to make sense of? How does this pain affect how we experience the world around us? We can try to suppress our emotions when they become overwhelming. We can try to hide our pain and recoil from the world, fearful that someone, even ourselves, might see our scars. We move through our cycles year after year, absorbing the pain and memories of those we encounter throughout our lives. We carry these with us. And pieces of it remain, sometimes becoming who we are, but often reflecting who we always were. The high holidays invite us to reflect on the ways that we may have hurt others, but the season also gives us a chance to be honest with ourselves about our own pain. We confess as a community to demonstrate that we are never alone in this journey. We experience each other calling out, "Hineni, here I am." And we acknowledge each other in our vulnerability, responding, "I'm here." The story in the Babylonian Talmud shares that Shimon Bar Yochai spent about 12 years in a cave, dwelling in reclusion with his only other son as a companion. And after he reemerged from his cave, Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair heard of his return and went to go greet him. He brought Rabbi Shimon to the bathhouse to tend to his skin because it had been terribly cracked and damaged from the dark and dry environment of the cave. And Rabbi Pinchas began to cry, tears falling from his eyes at the sight of Rabbi Shimon's great physical pain. And Rabbi Pinchas said to him, "Woe is me that I have to see you like this, my friend, with such wounds from your time in isolation." But to his surprise, Rabbi Shimon responded, "Happy you should see me like this. For if you had not seen me this way, you would not have found me at all." Over this next week, may we be open to and acknowledge the scars that we have developed. And may we come to recognize that pain always has a place in our communities. After all, we're the people who carried around broken tablets and called them holy.